welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you guys how I make my chicken pot pie. For this recipe, you will be needing the following ingredients: Yukon potatoes, you can use any, chicken breast, chicken tenderloins, or chicken thighs, anything without any bone. Half and half. I'm going with unsalted butter, but you can use salted. Frozen peas and carrots, onions, 1 egg, flour, rosemary, black pepper, salt, thyme, pie crust, or you can make your own if you can do that, and garlic. I'm going to be using 3 ramekins, and we're going to start with the potatoes. In another pan, we're going to start heating it up, and we're going to add a little bit of butter, a little bit of the onions, not all of them, and we're going to add our chicken. So our chicken is going to start cooking first. You want to add a little bit of salt, and we're going to add a little bit of water so that we can create some nice chicken stock that we're going to use later. Once your chicken is fully cooked, you want to take everything out, and we're basically going to start our sauce. Make sure that you check on your potatoes periodically so that they don't overcook, and you check on the consistency of the potato. So to your pan, you're going to add a little bit more butter. Let that melt. You're going to add the remaining red onions, and you're going to kind of let them cook and do their thing. Let them get a little translucent, the butter and the onions getting good flavor. Go back to your potatoes, make sure that they're cooking well. Once they're ready, you want to make sure that you take them out. Don't overcook them because you are going to put them in the oven again. So you want to make sure that they're not overcooked. So just draining your potatoes, and we're going to put them aside. To our onions and butter, we're going to add our flour. Let that cook, and we're going to add our chicken stock. Add your half and half, and this is basically the base of your sauce. Add your dry ingredients, and make sure that you taste it afterwards. If you feel that it needs a little bit more salt, add a little bit more salt. But for the most part, if you use a little bit of everything, you should be okay. Now you're going to add your chicken. You're going to add your potatoes. If you notice that your sauce is a little too thick, you may add a little bit more water or chicken stock preferably. Don't forget your garlic. Your frozen peas and carrots. And basically this is it. You're just going to let them sit for a little bit. Again, this is where you would add your chicken stock if your sauce is too thick. I did add a little bit to mine. As you can see, it's a little bit more juicy and has a little bit more broth in it. We're gonna preheat our oven as we're gonna get ready to make our individual pot pies. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting butter on my ramekins. Now guys, it does look like I'm using a lot of butter in this recipe, but I'm not. It's literally only half a stick of butter for the entire recipe. So it's not that much. Now you do have 2 pie crusts, so you're gonna use 1 for the bottom and 1 for the top. The goal is to make sure that you have enough to cover the bottom and enough to cover the top. You can make pot pie without doing this specific step that I'm doing right now, but Miguel and I like the pie crust and we like it at the bottom and at the top. But if you do not like that much pie crust and you prefer the filling and just a little bit of the pie crust, then you can skip this step, fill up your ramekins, and then just put 1 sheet of the pie crust above, so that could be your top part. So you don't have to do this step. But like I said, we like it, so this is how I do our pot pie. So you want to make sure that your top part of the pot pie is a little bit bigger because you do want it to go over the ramekin. So if you can, and if you have a rolling pin, try to stretch it out a little bit more I don't have one, so I'm kind of doing it with my hands, and I'm doing it carefully so that I don't tear it. But of course, if you have one, use a pin. So I'm just portioning it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough so that you have enough to go around and over the ramekin. Whisk your egg, and we're gonna get ready to basically do our pot pie assembly line. Now your pot pie filling can be cooled. However, we're having it for dinner right now, so we don't have too much time. We're just gonna go ahead and fill it up. So this portion of chicken that I used is probably about 1 pound of chicken. And you guys saw my portions. It was 1/4 cup of onion. It was half of the frozen peas and carrots. It was not much. It was literally enough to fill up these 3 ramekins. And it was perfect. It was basically our dinner and Miguel's lunch for the next day. So it was perfect. And most of my videos will be for 2 people and his lunch. So it'll be for 3 people actually, or 3 portions. So if you guys want me to list the portion count for larger, I would say just double the recipe, but I'll link my recipe specifically below so that you guys can see exactly what I used for 3 portions. So once you've put the top part of your pie crust and you've kind of assembled the edges, you're gonna add your egg wash, and you're gonna make a slip at the top of the pie crust so that it has room to evaporate from there. Because if you don't, I've never seen it happen, but there is a possibility that it can happen and it will overflow and it'll create a hot mess in your oven, and you don't want that. So just do the little slit, some room to breathe. Add your egg wash. The egg wash is really important, guys, because it does make your pie crust nice and golden brown. If you don't put the egg wash, it can burn and your crust may not come out nice. So don't skip this step. You can also add some salt and pepper to the top part before you put them in the oven, but I'm trying really hard to minimize my salt usage. So I'm putting mine over a sheet so that if it does overflow, it doesn't overflow into my oven. But I'm gonna put them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until golden brown. Sorry guys, my oven's a little dirty. And here it is. Here are the individual pot pies. You can see that one of them kind of did overspill a little bit, but not too much. But guys, this is exactly what you want to see. The color is perfect. And it's an individual portion. So this is basically, you just serve it from here. Obviously you want to make sure that they're cooled down and you don't want to serve the hot dish to your guests, but you do want to just wait until they're cool. I am going to go into one of them just so you guys can see what it looks like inside. But I'm not going to eat them yet because I do have to wait until they cool down. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you guys try it and let me know what you guys think.